Vettucaud Church is also known as the Madre-De-Deus Church in Portuguese language. The English version of this is Church of Mother of God or Saint Mary's Church. This church is especially renowned among the pilgrims and tourists for the feast of Christ the King. People from all parts of Kerala and outside come here as pilgrimage. This is popularly known as Vettucaud Palli. Palli is the Malayalam word for church. This Palli is situated 7 kilometers away from Thiruvananthapuram city. Madre-De-Deus Church bears tradition of more than 500 years. It is traditionally believed that Saint Francis Xavier visited Vettucaud somewhere in between 1543 and 1547 to evangelize the faithful of this region. The letters written by Reverend Father Francis Perez, S.J., addressed to the Superior General of Society of Jesus in Rome in the year 1568 reveals that Madre-De-Deus Church Vettucaud Parish had a Christian population of 175. It is reported in the letter that when Saint Francis Xavier reached Vettucaud, he was amused to see a small chapel called Japalayam and a granite cross here. This is a clear evidence of the fact that here existed a good number of faithful Christians very long back from 15th century onwards. At present, Vettucaud has grown into a small township with a Christian population of 67,070. A brief history of Madre-De-Deus or St. Mary's Church at Vettucaud. Saint Francis Xavier left Lisbon on 7th April 1541 and arrived in Goa coast, the then capital of Portuguese India, on 6th May 1542. That is, 13 months after leaving Lisbon, he reached at Goa. As mentioned in his letter dated 1544, he built nearly 40 churches along the coast, including Saint Stephen's Church at Kombathurai. This is a Roman Catholic church dedicated to Saint Stephen and is located in the village of Kombathurai in the Thoothukudi district of Tamil Nadu state. After a long period of time, Anizham Thirunal Marthanda Varma or Marthanda Varma was born on 1706 AD. He was brought up as a younger brother of the two adopted princesses in 1689. He had to live constantly in hiding right from his childhood in fear of his life. He had many attempts on his life. In 1728, he had to face an assassination attempt in that one of his adopted sisters and her son Dharma Raja were killed. However, it was in 1729 the actual war was declared after the death of Rajah Rama Varma. The Pillamar recognized a dangerous opponent in Marthanda Varma, and hence on the death of Rajah Rama Varma in the 1730, the Pillamar supported the Kunju Thampis. The late Rajah Rama Varma had 3 children, a daughter Ummini Thankachi and 2 sons, Padmanabhan and Raman Thampi. In spite of the prevailing Marumakkathayam law, these children of the late king, known as the Kunju Thampis, staked claim to the throne. Now, for defeating the Marthanda Varma, the Pillamar supported the Thampis with enough money and men, also helped them in seeking aid from the Pandyas of Madurai. However, Marthanda Varma managed to avert war by bribing away the Pandyan army. Soon after this, the Kunju Thampimar were captured and killed at Nagercoil Palace. It is stated in popular legends that Marthanda Varma's enmity towards the Kunju Thampimar was because of their refusal to allow him to marry their sister Umini Thankachi. It is said that Ummini Thankachi killed herself after the execution of her brothers by Marthanda Varma. The Pillamar were initially deterred by the fate of Thampis. They did not expect Marthanda Varma to kill his own cousins. However, soon after this, they plotted once again to murder Marthanda Varma. But this plan of Pillamar reached Marthanda Varma. On the day of the Arat festival, when the murder was to take place, Marthanda Varma appeared in an escort strong enough to scare down the Pillamar. But having received proof of the intention of the Pillamar to murder him, the Pillamar were defeated and captured by Marthanda Varma. The 8 Pillamars were either killed or exiled after sufficient evidence of conspiracy and murder. Their houses were excavated and all their assets and armies were seized by the victorious Marthanda Varma. Around 3,000 of them, including women and children, were given asylum by the Jesuit priest of the nearby Fisherman Coast parish. Therefore, this coast was called as Vettucaud or 8 homes. Marthanda Varma also promised to give 100 gold coins every year to the Jesuit parish priest for the welfare of these subjects. The 2 palaces at Trivandrum known as Ramanammadam and Thevarathu were constructed using the wood, furniture and materials seized from the palaces of the defeated Pillamar. The Travancore state of Manual Nagam Aya concludes by saying that one of the palaces was rebuilt in 1934 and that rebuilt palace grew into a parish under the Latin Archdiocese of Thiruvananthapuram, later known as Vettucaud Church. In 1934, during the period of Reverend Father Godwin A. Gudino, he started the construction of the church and finished in 1937 during the period of Reverend Father Michael John, the then Vicar General of Kochi Diocese. Monsignor Leon D'Souza blessed the church and grew into a parish under Valliyathura Foreign and Roman Catholic Diocese of Trivandrum. Here, Christ the King bless us all with his love and compassion and believed to have miraculous power over his devotees. Later, this was renamed as Vettucaud Church or Madre-De-Deus Church till 2009. In 2018, after the renovation stretching over 8 years, the seaside church of Madre-De-Deus at Vettucaud was reopened with palatial additions. It was dedicated to the faithful devotees of the area by Latin Catholic Archbishop Suse Pakiam. The highlight of the church was the dome, which is 60 feet in height. Inside there is an intricate relief artwork based on Michelangelo's painting, The Last Judgment. We had taken all the elements of the paintings and accommodated it in a circular fashion as relief artwork on the dome. There were 12 glass openings on the dome, symbolizing 12 tribes of Israel. Above that was the painting of 12 apostles. The construction convener of the church said that the artwork was done by Mr. Alex Chandy, a Kochi-based sculptor. Another feature of this newly built church was the Gothic-style altar with its background made of glass and teak wood. It had glass paintings which were created by Mr. Anthony Carroll, a lecturer of RLV Fine Arts College at Tripunithura. The interior of the church was a combination of Roman, Gothic, Byzantine and Kerala style works. Similarly, 24 important scenes from the Old Testament were painted by Mr. William Panipicha, an art teacher at Pundura St. Thomas Higher Secondary School. There are 16 stations of the cross instead of 14 in other churches. The 2 extra stations include the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The church has 3 bells imported from Belgium, which was blessed by Bishop Christodas. The huge high-velocity, low-speed ceiling fans were imported from the United States. The stone flag post in front of the church was built by experts from Mahabalipuram. Major Archbishop of Siro-Malankara Catholic Church, Mar Basilios Klimis, delivered the gospel speech during the blessing and dedication ceremony. The building was sanctified by 100 priests. Genesis of the Christ the King statue at Vettucaud. The holy statue of Christ the King was a thanksgiving dedication by Mr. Carmen Miranda and Mrs. Elizabeth on the occasion of priestly ordination of their son, Reverend Father C.M. Hilary, who incidentally was the first priest from this parish. The holy statue of Christ the King was sculptured by Chambakulam carpenters, the renowned religious artist of Kerala, from a famous picture of the blessed Christ the King in Rome. The miraculous statue was blessed on the present rostrum by Right Reverend Jose Vieiro Alvarnas, Bishop of Cochin, in 1942. From the beginning itself, the holy shrine of Christ the King at Vettucaud was a miracle to prove his living presence at Vettucaud. That is all about Vettucaud Church. Thank you and have a nice day.